Welcome to the Raw Truth. As always, I'm your host, Big Bad Boy. Today is vaccine awareness, because apparently people just don't know exactly what they're talking about. So we'll go over each one step by step. Stay tuned. So as I said, today we're going to talk about vaccine awareness, because there's some ignorance going out there and I don't like it. Now, I've had my first shot from Moderna, and I'll be taking my next one in 8 days, on the 13th. My father's had his full Moderna shots. My brother had his PFIZER shots. His father-in-law had his PFIZER, and there's been no side effects since. And for those of you who are gonna give me this horse pucky of, oh, down the road, that's with everything. Every side effect down the road. That's just like saying don't take Tylenol, Advil, don't drink coffee because down the road, don't smoke cigarettes because down the road, don't eat cake because down the road. We never know what happens down the road until we get there. So if you're going to be worried about that, then you must well stop eating, breathing, and doing anything on this planet, because down the road it could have an effect. Down the road, too much water can make you fat and ugly. Too much of this, too much of that, down the road, down the road, down the road, down the road, down the road. With the down the road bullshit. But what we do know are these particular facts. So you are going to either fucking grow a pair of balls and act like an adult and understand these are the actual things that's going on, not the conspiracy you want to believe. Because this is what I've learned so far. It doesn't matter what the facts are to the end of the day, or at the end of the day, excuse me. People are going to believe what they want to believe. If it fits their narrative or what they fear or what they think, that's what it matters. So if I believe that Moderna is going to give me a fucking monkey's arm, and there's somebody out there telling me it's going to give you a monkey's arm, I'm going to be like, wow, I knew it was true. I'll never touch it to Moderna. But this fucking made up belief into whatever we want, and they go with it. And I understand when you're afraid. I understand when you're scared. You want something to reassure you that everything's going to be alright. But you're not getting reassurance. You're making it matters worse for yourself. And not just you. For me and everyone else around you. That's all you're doing. Giving you this conspiracy issue and nutism. It's just hurting you and me and everyone around you. It's not helping. So, let's crack this down a little bit. We'll start off with the Johnson & Johnson, because the Johnson & Johnson is done differently than the Moderna and the Pfizer. So let's go one step at a time. So here, I'm going to open this window, and then we'll go into that Explorer. Now, this is the Johnson & Johnson, okay? Now, the Johnson & Johnson, don't worry about any of these other details that are all this here crap, because they're all going to say the same thing. But what they're not going to say is the type of vaccine. Now, don't worry about the number of shots either, because it says they recommend a booster shot if you take this one. Now, let's work on this. Viral vector. That's the type of vaccine the Johnson & Johnson is. So, now we click into there. What you need to know. A viral vector vaccine uses a modified version of a different virus, the vector, to deliver important instructions to our cells. The benefit of viral vector vaccines, like all vaccines, is those vaccinated gain protection, blah, blah, blah. But this is what right here says: viral vector vaccines use modified versions of the different virus, the vector, to deliver important information. How it works. First, the vector, not the virus that causes COVID-19, but different harmless virus, will enter a cell of our body, then use the cell's machinery to produce a harmless piece of the virus and cause COVID-19. That causes COVID-19, I apologize. This piece is known as a spike protein and is only found on the surface of a virus that causes COVID-19. So now, this is the Johnson & Johnson. Let's go over the Moderna. See, now this is the Moderna. It says basically the same thing. The manufacturer, which wasn't the same, but you know what I mean, company name, its model name, and it was shot in the arm, no eggs, no preservatives, no latex, blah. 2 shots, 28 days apart, la la la. Again, not the important part. The important part is this right here. This is the type of vaccine. Notice that it's not the same. It's a different model number, or name, excuse me. So let's go in. Let's see what it says. mRNA vaccines are a new type of vaccine to protect against infectious diseases. mRNA vaccines teach our cells how to make protein, or even just a piece of protein that triggers an immune response inside our body. The benefit, like all vaccines, is those who vaccinate gain protection without ever having the risk of serious consequences of getting COVID-19. Scroll down a little bit. mRNA vaccines are a new type of vaccine to protect against infectious diseases. To trigger an immune response, many vaccines put a weakened and inactivated germ inside the body. Not mRNA vaccines. Instead, they teach our cells how to make protein, or even just a piece of protein that triggers an immune response inside our bodies. That immune response, which produces antibodies, in what protects us from getting infected in the real virus enters our body. So, okay, so now let's go on to PFIZER, because that was Moderna. Now, you're going to find something about PFIZER that matches Moderna. They're both mRNA. 2 shots in the arm. The only difference is one is 21 days apart, the other one was 28. That's not the important part. The important part, we already clicked on what mRNA stands for. So let's read a little bit more about PFIZER. You have several allergy reaction, blah blah blah, what you should know about. This is just silly normal stuff that doctors have to tell you or ask you about reactions to this, that, third, and the other. Everything has it. But these are the possible side effects. Now, we're going to go through all the possible side effects between all 3 and go from there. Now, possible side effects are pain, redness, and swelling. Throughout the rest of the body is tiredness or tenderness, headache, muscle pain, chills, fever, and nausea. Now, I didn't take PFIZER, which this one is PFIZER. I personally had the Moderna. And like I said, this is the one I had, and we'll scroll down. These are the same side effects: pain, redness, swelling, tiredness, headache, muscle pain, chills, fever, and nausea. I didn't have any of those. I know people that have had that, but not me. Let's see what the Johnson & Johnson says is their side effects. Johnson & Johnson's side effects are pain, redness, swelling, tiredness, headache, muscle pain, chills, fever, nausea. So those are the severe differences. Essentially, a viral vector puts, where is it? So we can put a specific. First, a vector, not a virus, causes COVID-19, but a different harmless virus. So they're taking a different harmless virus and putting it inside you, like the traditional vaccine, like for the flu. But when it comes to the PFIZER and Moderna, it's different. They're not sticking the virus in you, or any virus. So those are the difference between Moderna, PFIZER, and Johnson & Johnson. For those you are afraid of the traditional flu virus, flu shot, that's fine. Be afraid of it if you want, and I don't blame you, because they're putting the virus inside you, and yeah, you could technically reactivate it, because even stated reactivating the virus. Now, they did say they didn't put COVID in you. It's a different harmless one that has the same makeup. Anyway, so I completely get that. But the Moderna and Pfizer have no virus putting in you. It's just teaching your body how to develop the proteins, or a piece of the protein, to get the immune response, so you're antibody building, which is something different than the other virus, the other vaccine. So, with that being said, if you got a problem with them putting the virus in you, I respect that, because that was part of the reason why when I was younger I stopped getting the flu shot, because I was afraid of them putting the virus in me. And it wasn't MODERNA, it was just a dormant version, or a dormant virus that was to give my body the makeup to take it out. But the mRNA is totally different. It helps your body produce the antibody specifically, and that's pretty much it, protein to do so. So I don't recommend you not getting the vaccine, either one of them, but I feel safer with the Moderna or Pfizer personally. I still haven't gotten that information from my friend and the source. I actually haven't asked him yet. It is a 4th of July weekend, and I spent the last week being a father, so haven't had time to get down to asking any questions. But as soon as I get a question time, I'll come up with the answer and see what he says. Get vaccinated. If to those it doesn't matter which way you die, you're gonna die, then get the vaccine. Honestly, if it doesn't matter, then you should be more than able to get the vaccine to help others, since you don't care about yourself in the same light. You think it is what it is, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. Excuse me. Do the vaccine for someone else. And for those of you who just want to fight the power, get a fucking life. She made me curse. I'm trying to be a good boy here, but you're making me curse because you're fools. Anyway, please like and subscribe. I could use the followers too. So far we got 31. Yay! Now we just need 969 to go. Yay! Anyway, please comment, get into this discussion with me. I want to see what you got to say. Like I said, my Patreon page is up, but it's, rough and rugged since it's new. Feel free to join. I'll be usually trying to upload this content there first, so those who are there can get the first look at it if they're interested. I'll be looking more into what I can and can't do with that page. On that note, have a good night and stay safe.